Hello everybody, and welcome back once again to Suzerain. Suzerain, we're having problems with members of staff. Good evening, Malachite, welcome. I started the stream at 19:59 and 55 seconds. I thought today I'm going to be bang on time. For a change. Good evening, Joker Drake, welcome. Ollie, good evening to you. Good evening. So, as we left off, we all know what happened. Scandal in our very own office. Our Vice President, Mr. Peter, has got himself into a spot of bother. And, good old Big Brother here has to sort it out. Good evening, Hercules, welcome. The dress run for the 25th anniversary of Lion King. Oh. I'm still yet to watch that in the theatres. It is something that is on my list of things to do. Watch the Lion King in theatre. I'll get there at some point. What scandal? No, what exactly, Ollie? What scandal? I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I must have just dreamt that. Woke up in a hot sweat. Oh, scandal. Thank God it's not real. Right. Speaking of the scandal. Good evening, Nagisa. There's no flim-flam today, by the way. We're cracking on. It's an 8 o'clock start. I've had my dinner. I'm finishing at 10 because I've got a few little bits to do. Preparing for my birthday on Friday. It's my birthday, I don't know if you know. So I've got a couple of little things to do. But yeah, so 2 hours solid focus. Because we've got to set a good example to Peter, haven't we? Not that it matters because he's going to be fired in a minute. Hello, Cham. We've been building this cast for years to get it right. It's the 25th anniversary. So where was it? Where is it? Is it going across the country? Is it one of those kind of affairs? I would like to go and see it, actually. I've got some friends. I've got a couple of friends that would be interested as well. Let me know. Is it? I can always Google it, couldn't I? Lion King 25th anniversary UK, and it'll come up with something. Oh, the Lyceum in London. Oh, I have to go to London. That's a different kettle of fish. But one of the people I'm going to Jamaica with in 2 weeks' time, she loves going to the theatre, and I'm sure she's probably seen Lion King before, but she did tell me when we were in Mexico that you have to come to London and we have to go and watch a show in the theatre. I was like, oh, I'll get there. That was in November. It's now May. Have I been down? No. But I'll have a chat with her because she's from London, you see. Arranged to go down one weekend. So go down on the Friday night, stay over, watch it on the Saturday, go back home on the Sunday. Sounds like a perfect plan, doesn't it? Sounds like a grand plan. Like all my grand plans, I might get there in 2027. The Lion King will have been and gone and round 15 times before the time I get to watch it. No. But if it is a big one, there's no better time to watch it, is there? Change the cast every year, so you've got time. That's what I like to hear. You've got time. Oh, I can find things to do in that time. It's a work expense. I am going to be in London for work at Christmas. The meeting will be in London. The managers' meeting will be in London at Christmas. It was in London at Christmas last year, which is a point I made. I was like, why are we going to London again for Christmas? Can't we go somewhere else for Christmas? Not Leeds, though, because it's a bit boring for me. I have to get out and about. Anyway, in London. Oh. London. Oh, I love you. London. Meetings at Christmas. Lion King. So far away from me. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's the expense, you see. The London prices. Oh, it turns my stomach. Go to rural Wales for Christmas. There's lots of trees. It'd be very Christmassy. That's a perfect plan. No, but seriously, if I'm going to be in London for work anyway, it's going to be a bit difficult to meet up at that time because I'll be out with the managers until probably about 11. Unless you're thinking of meeting up another time, at which point I could stay a night for the meeting and then I could stay a night after the meeting and pay for it myself. And stay 2 nights. 1 night business, 1 night complete and utter pleasure. Tag it on to the managers' meeting. That could be quite good, couldn't it? Oh, I'll have a think about this. It'll be Christmas, treat myself. 11 PM till 6 AM Christmas party. Oh, now you see, if I had my way, this would be the Christmas party of choice. You know, out partying, having a good time, few drinks. We want to get together once every 2 or 3 months. Let's enjoy it. We went to Manchester for a managers meeting last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? Was it last week? I'm asking you guys because I'll tell you all my plans. Was it last week? I think it was. And we went for a meal. The meal was about 7:30, no 7, maybe 7 actually, 6:45, 7ish. It was early for me because I eat late, you see. So these eat 7 o'clock meals. I'm like, oh, can we go for a drink first? I'm like, oh, but people are hungry. Oh. And there's about 10 of us. You've got to accommodate, and you can't just commandeer. So it's like, oh, okay, we'll have a drink afterwards then. It's not a problem. We decided it took us 10 minutes to find a restaurant. Half are going for Greek, half are going for Indian. We're going to split in half, and they're like, we can't do that. We'll go for Indian. And we ended up in Mowgli, the Indian street food place with the swing seats. And we were in there till about 8:45. Left there, right, let's go have a couple of drinks. No, I'm not saying let's get raucous, you know, people of certain standing and a certain demographical age. But let's have a couple. You know, I forgot. I like to drink before my meal, but I forgone that to eat early, thinking we're going to get drinks later. There were 10 of us. How many people want to go for drinks at 8:45 at night? Bearing in mind, you know, hotel's right on the doorstep. Do not have to go too far, you know. Just me, apparently. Everybody went to go to bed. Or go to the rooms and retire to the rooms. It's 8:45. We're in Manchester city centre. It's 8:45. Anyway, so I told you what I proceeded to do. I thought in my temper, because my manager was like, "Oh, I feel really bad. I could come out for one drink if you want." I was like, "No, it's fine. Everyone wants to go to bed. You all go to bed. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm gonna go to Co-op and buy myself some coffees and some biscuits." If I'm going to retire into my room at 8:45, I might as well retire with tea and biscuits, or coffee and biscuits, and do it proper old man style. Get me a bathrobe out of the bathroom that's hung up on the thing and prance around in that, shall I? Anyway, I went to the Co-op and bought a bottle of wine. And I walked out and people were like, "Oh, no," I said, "Well, you're not, well, I've got to drink somehow." I thought I could look at my tablet, watch some films and pour myself a glass of wine. It's a good idea in practice, but I ended up pouring half a glass of wine and thought it's a bit sad drinking wine on your own in a hotel room. I'll drink that on the weekend instead. So I had half a glass of it. Oh dear. So yeah, Christmas party, London, managers meeting, 11 PM till 6 AM. Yeah, try 6 PM till 11, and that's if you're lucky. Anyway, let's crack on. Look, I'll give you a little tiny sliver of me talking crap. Right, results of the affair scandal or political briefing meeting. What's more important? I think the scandal. It's priorities now. Political briefing meeting sounds very boring. Let's get to the affair scandal. This is urgent. Okay, so excuse me, I seem to have scratched my hand. Several days have passed since I ordered the investigation into my secretary, Olivia Suno. Okay, fun. Sorry, I won't get to this. So it's my birthday on Friday, and I'm having a very small gathering here. And when I say small, I'm talking at 6 people. I don't want big fusses and things. I just want small gatherings. So 6 people, 7, maybe 8 if you can include my family. I don't class them in the guests. They're always here. My nephew and my mother. So there's 8 of us actually. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because I thought, right, I've had a little house party for a little while now, probably over a year. So I thought, oh, got to do it properly. And me doing it properly is first of all food. So my mother, bless her, I'm going to go buy some goat meat from the local shop down the road, and she's going to make Jamaican style curry goat, which my mother's is delicious. I'm biased clearly, but she's going to be making that. So I thought, yeah, that's lovely. So we've got the food covered. You know, when guests are coming, got to keep them fed with lovely, delicious food. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, the second most important thing is the bar. The third important thing is a cake. I forgot about a cake because I'm not really. I do like a bit of cake. And if it was a choice, let's get the cake out of the way first. Costco carrot cake. I'm off work Friday. Friday morning at 10, I could rock up to Costco, re-sign for my membership, get the cheap petrol, and buy one of those most delicious carrot cakes, which is my favourite cake of all time. And normally I don't get it because it's a size that would feed 12 people, and I end up having to eat it all, and that's not good. However, it's my birthday, so I can eat it all if I want. De Geezer, you're a genius. Right, that's my task. Ollie, it's going on my board, which means when it goes on the board, it's happening. Costco, Friday morning. I'm getting myself a carrot cake. I'll take a picture, I'll upload it, I'll prove it. And, oh yes, good idea, Nagisa. Right, so now that you've given me that good idea, I was going to talk about the rum, the bar. Because you've got to have a good bar, so there's all the different mixers which I've already got on the bar, which is going to be coming in, being put in the kitchen. And then I've bought 2 bottles of rum, because I've got more, because I've got Kraken downstairs. That's a bit dull. You know, if people are coming, might want to try some of the special stuff, you know, the 63% stuff that they don't be used to. Have a sip of that and watch them all flail around in a mess. Because I'm cruel like that, you see. So I ordered, and now the rum that I was drinking at Christmas, if you remember the Christmas party stream, was 75.5%. It was called Cut to the Overproof rum. And they didn't do it on Amazon. But I checked this morning as I was ordering my pineapple grenade, which is also 63%. And I thought, ooh, Cut to the Overproof is now on Amazon. Oh, it's only 32 quid. Sure, it was 40 something when I bought it last month. And it was Cut to the Overproof, exactly the same brand, exactly the same spiced rum drink, but it was only 63, not 75.5. So apparently they do 2 versions. They do the extra strong and then the utterly lethal. Now I bought the utterly lethal version last month, but for my birthday, because I wanted to buy it off Amazon and I couldn't be bothered to go to a separate website and pay for postage when I get free Amazon Prime delivery next day, I bought the 63% watered down version. Watered down, yeah. So I was a bit gutted, but that being said, we've got about a little quarter, less than a quarter of a bottle of the 75% stuff left, so I can give a couple of samples of that out. But the regular Cut to the Spice, which is 37%, much more normal, is a delicious rum, very toffee flavoured, and it goes in coffee very well. It goes in hot chocolate, especially at those cold winter nights. A nice hot chocolate with a bit of this Cut to the Spice rum in it. If you want to go the whole hog and you like whipped cream, put that on and put a flake in it. You've got yourself a nice little winter warmer there, haven't you? Give it a try, although it's pretty warm now. 50. I'm looking good for 50. It's all that oil of Olay. Ambrister. Bless him. 50. I mean, I'd love to look this good at 50, but I wouldn't want to be 50 just yet. I've still got 9 years to go. Right, anyway, forget about that. Back to the game. We've ordered this investigation into Livia Suno. Several days have passed and we have been on tenterhooks. Both Peter and Livia had been acting unnaturally nice to me. As if that's going to work. Believing I'd let them off the hook for their affair. They seemed to be avoiding each other in the hallways, though. I was sitting behind my desk or settling in when Lucian knocked on my door. Probably he's already got the results. He's seen the results. He's probably jumping for glee internally. I told you so, sir. I told you so. Okay, Lucian. Don't be relishing in Peter's misery. The more you do that, the more I think you might have ulterior motives. Sir, a moment of your time. Of course, Lucian. Enter. He closes the door. Do I still have 100% trust in Lucian? I think in politics, I think the mantra is never have 100% trust in anyone other than yourself. It's a cutthroat business. That's what I say. Even if it's not true, that would be my motto. Don't 100% trust nobody. Our security team travelled to Leshaven. This is Lucian, sorry, excuse me. Our security team travelled to Leshaven to speak to the owners of the pub Miss Suno named. They confirmed that one Livia Suno had worked there. The description of her did not match that of your secretary. However, it did match that of an unidentified corpse that washed up in Lenkirk 2 months before your inauguration. Oh. Livia's been bumped off and she's taken them. Identity theft. Add that to it. And murder. Add them all to a list. Oh shit. You know what? We have been the model of professionalism for a long time. We've tried our best. No smoking, limited drinking. We're gonna just exploit. We're gonna exploit here. Oh, for shit's sake. Why do you always bring me bad news, Lucian? That's not all, sir. Further investigation by our operatives in Rumberg matched Miss Suno's description to a woman named Ilana Vance, last seen graduating from Krimsrad Political Sciences Institute. Our whistleblower from Rumberg recognised the name Vance as belonging to a deeply embedded covert agent, although he had previously assumed it was a man. She's good. Oh, she's good. She lied right to us. We were sat in a room and she almost convinced me that Lucian was a traitor. She was good. But she's not good enough. That lying two-faced succubus. What an option that is. What an option. We've got to pick that. Oh, I can't believe it. That's a bit too unprofessional, but I mean, hellfire. It's like, no, I can't do it. How could we have missed all this? We would blow our lid. We would. Yeah, but I mean, succubus? That's not in my vocabulary. Live two-faced succubus. No, well, how have we missed all this? Come on, we've got to regain our sorry to be boring, but with the president. Regain our composure here. Damn succubus. As mentioned, Miss Suna was hired without a background check. It's possible this all could have been avoided had any of Mr. Vecton's blood flow been directed to his brain when he selected her. Oof, he's just getting the digs in as he can. But none of that can be helped now. The question is, what are you going to do about it, sir? What am I going to do about it? I'm going to murder them both. Okay. Arrested for espionage, of course, or is it not that simple? What are you going to do about it? I don't know, arrest her? Oh, that's a good idea, sir, but you can't do that. I'm waiting for that now. That won't be the standard procedure, says Lucian, but... However, if we do so, it's only a matter of time before the media pieces together what happened. Yes? How about Marcel? Marcel doesn't control all the papers, does he? But, yeah, Marcel will cover it up. Clutching at straws here. I want to see justice! Asking Mr. Coronti for help would be advisable, but you'll still have to do a fair amount of crisis management yourself, starting by letting Peter Vecton take the fall. Yeah, I know his actions were problematic. Problematic is an understatement. I know. Mr. Vecton put you in danger by failing to order a background check on your closest personal staff. He betrayed your confidence to a woman with whom he was committing adultery. Anton, would you do the same to your so-called best friend? If I'm being honest, no. I said this last week about the whole professionalism thing. This, pants, trousers, thing in trousers. But it wasn't just that, it's all the stuff you've done, all the times you've been absent, all the times you've been sheepish. How many flipping times has there been? Succubus, quite correct. Found the perfect sucker. But no, Lucian, clearly, look at me. I wear the same goddamn suit. Hat, glasses, tie. Professional. Sick. Lucian sighed. We all sighed. Heavily. I am your chief strategist. I have advised you on what I believe is the best strategy, but of course the ultimate decision is yours. Peter will be our scapegoat. Oof. Oof. That's very harsh. Takes two to tango, doesn't it, really? But I mean, it's supposed to be me, isn't it? What, I mean, it is ultimately her fault. She's a trained professional, isn't she? She's a trained professional. But this is not about trained professionals, is it? It's about this not getting out and all the rest of it. And ultimately, he could have said no. He did make the decision to do this, so he does have to shoulder the blame. Cheated on his wife. We can't say any fairer, can we? Really, we can't. If this was not our friend and was some just random person, random, you know, other minister, it wouldn't be batting an eye. Fired. Of course it's their fault, but that bond of friendship just muddies that water a little bit, makes us hesitate slightly. But then ultimately, just like with our son, in a moment of, oh, I could just maybe crease the palms of a few... No, you're off to the army. Sorry. For a brief moment, almost lost my professionalism. Testing me again here? Oh, it could... Oh, no. Peter will be the scapegoat. Very well. I shall consult with our friend Mr. Cronty and write a statement for you to read at the press conference. I'll leave you to handle Miss Vance. Handle Miss Vance. With pleasure. But Lucian didn't like the way I said that. Lucian nodded and walked out. I called Carl Greaser. Who's Carl Greaser? Swordish police officer. Explained the situation. After a few minutes, I rang for Livia. I think, what if she's like a ninja? What if she's like highly trained? There's Mr. Police Officer. I mean, no disrespect to Carl Greaser, but it don't look like if she's going to be high trained in the deadly arts of CQC, well, he's going to be much cop. No pun intended. I need Sergei next to me. Police Chief. I hope you've got some good skills, Mr. Chief. In comes Livia. Is there something you need, Mr. President? Please, do take a seat. We don't get much enjoyment in this job, but maybe just playing and stringing this out and maybe making her spit it out of her own mouth might be the only fun we get, considering recent events. Please do sit. A barely perceptible flash of fear crossed her face. She sat. And being a very perceptible president when it suits us. We noticed that. Had to suppress a little smile, maybe. We're not a sadistic person that seeks revenge usually. Very, very measured, but this is quite personal. Now she's made it personal. Why did you call me in here, sir? I nodded toward my office doorway. Carl Greaser was standing there along with two of his guards blocking the entrance. Ilana Vance, you are under arrest on suspicion of espionage. Please come with me. What? That's not dramatic enough for my liking. Oh, Mr. Rain, come on now. You party pooper, you. His eyes darted around her eyes darted around the room. She's looking for a weapon. Somebody act. I've told you, Carl, I've briefed you. She could be dangerous. Get her trussed up like a turkey, now. What the hell is going on? Mr. President, have you let Lucian get to your head? I thought you were smarter than that. You're going to pay for your lies. Do you know what? I don't want to say that in case ultimately she's right and I'm wrong. Can you imagine? Thought I wouldn't trust my closest advisor. What if this is all still? What if this is? It's probably not right. But what? This would be a great twist in the game, wouldn't it? But what if after all this, because we're quite confident now. Yeah, definitely. Because don't forget, it's still only Lucian that's told us this. The body, the name. Has he proved it? Did he bring papers in with him? It didn't say it in the blurb, did it? We just took his word for it. So what if, after all of this, he was playing us for a fool? And it was all a lie on his part. Could you? That would be such a great twist. I'd be horrified. But what if it was? I mean, she's very good. She's still got me doubting Lucian here. I don't know. Just something in my head. So yeah, we're just going to reserve on that one, I think. And just say you're going to pay. Sorry I had to come to this now. No, you're going to pay. You're going to pay for your lies, Alana. You're going to pay for your lies. That's if they are lies. I'm 90% sure they're lies. 10% of me is not quite so sure. Only 10%, but hey, it's not impossible. It's highly unlikely. It's improbable, but it's not impossible. Carl's man grabbed her hands and began dragging her out, and she's probably still going to be kicking and screaming, "It's not me, you've got it all wrong," as she's getting hoisted out the door. Watch. No, you can't do this to me. It's happening. Peter, hearing her cries, rushed out of his office. Oh, here we go. Liv, what the hell? Anton, what's going on? Go back in your office, Peter. Nothing to see here. Raucous. Oh, God. This saga is just... Oh, it's just getting worse. Her name, Peter, is Ilana. Lucian was right about her. She's a spy. We think. No, that can't be true, can it? Liv? I won't say another word without a lawyer present. She looked Peter square in the eye. Except this. You're a sad old drunk and a lousy lay. I think the game's up. I think that's her admission. Phew. 10%. Oh, God. Poor Peter. Imagine saying that to the poor fella. She's been hoisted out. Oh, my God. Just... Oh. Honestly, if I were a Rumberg spy, I'd barely have to do a thing. You two have Swordland right for the taking. If she's not a Rumberg spy, who the hell is she? She straightened up, ran her hand through her curls, and allowed Carl to lead her away. Okay, so she's not a Rumberg spy. What is she? Who is she? Because she's admitting that something's amiss. Clearly she's not into Peter, so she was doing something for a reason. So what is that reason if she's not a Rumberg spy? Anyway, forget her, we'll deal with that later. Peter has sank to the floor in despair in front of me. Anton, what the hell just happened? I'll tell you in my office. Gather your thoughts, gather yourself, get yourself presentable. And I'll see you in there. That's what I mean. She was basically admitting there that she was a spy of some description. Or she was up to some no good for some reason. So there's no reason for her not to admit she's a Rumberg spy, unless, of course, she doesn't want to implicate Rumberg, I suppose. Being kind of, all patriotic. Blame it on somebody else. I'm a lesbian spy, actually. You'll find. Anyway, Peter gathers himself, enters the office. I shut the door and explained everything Lucian had told me about Livia. And you believed him? Well, better safe than sorry, especially after what she called me. Is this man for real? Is this man for real? Especially after what she called you. That's all you're concerned about in this entire situation? That's just happened, is it? The ability for you to flabbergast me just when I thought that you couldn't get any more thick-headed, pig-headed, whatever you want to call it. You come out with a line like that. At least we have this. At least we have the ordeal finally behind us, Anton. Whew, close call. Let's get on with running the country, shall we? Old buddy, old pal. This man is a card. Yes, but let's have a drink first, shall we? Yeah, Peter, that's what you expected me to say. That's what you're hoping for me to say. Unfortunately, Peter, though, I have something that I need to tell you. And if you can't figure out what it is, then you deserve it. Yeah? What is it? I should have put me bandana on for this episode, shouldn't I? Look the part. You look like shit. Take the rest of the day off. Let me think about it a bit more. No. I want you to resign. I clicked that button quite easily there, actually. As much as it's painful. Pete looked up at me. His expression was numb. I guess I deserve this, don't I? Yes. Your philandering has put us all in danger, Peter. He exhaled slowly. I could see tears in his eyes. Delivering bad news. Oh, it's never good, is it? But you just got to get it out. Spit it out. No dithering about. I don't deliver bad news in a dithery way. Some people might say I'm sometimes a bit too not dithery. My poor mother, bless her, when I've been on a cruise, I think I might have told you, when I had to inform her of some bad news, I just blurted it out. No, do you want to sit down and take a seat? I've got some news for you. Just out it came in the piazza. But anyway, tears in his eyes. Oh, I'm so sorry, Anton. I was never cut out for this job. It was fun while it lasted. You did great. Swordland's just not ready for a president like you yet. A vice president, rather. Bloody hell, president like you. We're all screwed. Vice president like you. No, we never will be either. There will never be a time for this kind of vice president. Past, present, future. It was fun while it lasted, in parts. When I wasn't pulling my hair out, I was laughing inside. You really weren't, but at least you get a nice house out of the deal. That's actually there. That is quite, yeah. I read that in a serious tone, but maybe it is a bit jokey. I don't know. It depends how this is said. If it's said as a joke, then I like it. But this could be he could be deadly serious, and then it's quite harsh. So I don't know. I read that as harsh initially, and then I can see where it could be a jokey kind of. Well, at least you got a nice house out of it, didn't you? But I don't want it to say it and it be really serious. So I'm going to just, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, exactly. It's context, you see. But this is the trouble with sometimes with games when something can be read in many ways. It makes the choice more difficult because you could say it in one context and be happy, but not in another. So it's happened a couple of times in Baldur's Gate, for example, where I've tried to say something is a jovial Vulpus because Vulpus just likes a joke and sometimes says a few witty things when he shouldn't do, and the game has taken it as a serious remark, which I don't mind so much because even if Vulpus did mean it jokingly, it could still offend somebody, couldn't it? But anyway, I digress slightly. We're going to say the first one, it was fun in ever so small bits. Sure was, old buddy. And then I had to beat up a dog. Yeah, exactly. I was only poking your owner with the stick to prove he was dead. I wasn't trying to kill him. It was dead. I would have so loved a playthrough of that game, first time of asking, with a pet dog. It would have been fantastic. It would have been fabulous. Somebody to wait at camp for us when we've had a long day. And what have I got? A music box. All I want is a t-shirt. His t-shirt and mug worthy, that slogan. All I wanted for camp was a dog. And I ended up with this poxy music box. I kind of want to say, you know what? You're resigning now anyway. It's bad news. You're feeling like crap. I'm feeling like crap. On this one occasion, I'm actually going to indulge you and have a drink with you. But that is sage advice. But I'm imagining that if we stay for a drink, we're going to be saying this whilst he's having a drink. Because I kind of want to drink with him. It's been a hard day. And he's being foolish. And he knows he's being foolish. We can only beat somebody up so much, you know what I mean? So, do you know what, Peter? He's probably going to be shocked when these words come out of my mouth, because I've never offered a drink. It's always been, oh, he offers it, and I'll be like, okay. Very occasionally. It's usually no, but, you know. Whereas now, for a long time, I shall engage the conversation. I shall initiate the offer. Seeing as you're leaving me, Peter, stay for one last drink. Without waiting for him to answer, I poured some whiskey into a glass. Peter grabbed the bottle instead of, see, give somebody an inch, they take half a mile. To new beginnings! He'll never learn, will he? He drained a third of the bottle of whiskey. Let's call it a 70cl bottle to be generous here, and not a litre. That's the equivalent of 20. That's a large glass in one go. I won't even do that with rum. And I love my rum. I mean, Jesus Christ. I knew this was for the best, but I hope my friend would be all right. National security breached. Oh my God. It's caused significant concern among the government and citizens alike. It looks like it's been outed. Not good. Right, political briefing. Here we go. The morning sunlight streamed through the windows as Lucian and I entered the White Room. I sat down. Lucian remained standing. I'm afraid I won't be able to join you for your meetings today, sir. The business surrounding the Livio Suno affair is taking up all of my time at the moment. He dropped a thick folder in front of me. I was hoping to go over the day's agenda with you before your cabinet members begin arriving. But duty calls. He walked out. I took a look at the folder in front of me, then at the coffee carafe in the corner of the room. I walked over and poured myself a cup. I wondered when my new secretary would start work. Hopefully, thoroughly vetted new secretary. Twice over vetted, in fact. Internal Affairs was first on the list of items. Lilius and Nia, along with their close staff, joined me around the table. Lilius cast an eye around the room. No new secretary yet. I hope this means Miss Suno's replacement is getting an extremely thorough background check. As I was saying to myself, Lilius, before you arrived, this new secretary will have been checked on my orders 3 times over. Needless to say, such an egregious breach of security should be met with harsh consequences. But you know that already. Shall we begin? Please do. Hot office rumour. Who's the new secretary? Who's the big man's new secretary? Come on. Oh, is she? Oh, and it's... I don't know. First impressions? Not so sure. Well, she's not your secretary, so go away. Mr. President, Governor Braun is still causing problems with my forces. Now, I read the papers last time before the session finished, and I read the papers again before this session started, just to catch up with things. And I remember reading about the fact that the big operation for the BFF leaders failed. What I failed to comprehend when I was reading it at the back end of the last session, because of all the drama, of course, I was distracted, was that it was Governor Braun's policies that caused the operation to fail. So not only is he causing grief for the Bluedians down there, he's causing actual grief for our police in the area, and has actually caused the failure of a very important operation. Governor Braun. Not much we can do at the minute, I don't think, about Governor Braun, but if we get an opportunity, hopefully that door hasn't been permanently closed with our decision making so far. But anyway, the lack of action taken in this arena is disappointing. Right, let's see, this is how we're going to respond to this. This sounds like it's quite final, with the whole kind of signing of the reform and conceding this and whatever else we had to back down on. Yes, so we're going to kind of deflect a bit. I am disappointed, Lilius, as much as the next person, about Governor Braun's attitude as well. Okay? Clearly. But instead of finding problems, Lilius, we should start finding solutions. And that is what you're being paid for. She simply nodded. That's right, Lilius. So until you've got solutions, come up. The President is no longer in a good mood. In any case, despite Governor Braun being a major obstacle for Bluedish rights, the new constitution will open the way for real reforms from now on. Though I'm not very hopeful anymore, especially after, well, she stopped and looked pointedly at Lilius. It's the operation failure. Why don't you explain the situation, Miss Graff? Yeah, seeing as it's your failing. I think that's what she's getting at here. Lilius stood up and cleared her throat. There was an incident, Mr. President. Due to the interference of Governor Braun, our operation against the BFF has failed. I was aware of that, actually. But, seeing as we're discussing it... Why are you coming to me with excuses? I mean, I'm tempted. I did say that the President's patience is now non-existent. Giving Lilius a hard time. Ooh, take our frustrations out on somebody. And if it was somebody to take it out on in this entire cabinet of ours, she would be the front contender. But no, hang fire. Breathing exercises. What happened? Tell me. Of course, yes. Our raid was delayed due to logistical issues, and our massive operation was thwarted when the leaders of the terrorists were signalled about our plan. Not Iosef. Iosef, I think we've given Iosef plenty of stick already, haven't we? We cut his budget, we've gone against his advice a couple of times. You know, I think we've given him enough flack. Lilius has got away quite lightly considering how much she's kicked off about things at times, I do feel, in comparison. They were prepared for the raid and a huge firefight broke out in the border town Suzerain. Unfortunately, a lot of civilians lost their lives in the fracas, and the explosions triggered by the BFF militants damaged countless houses and public buildings. Quite a fracas indeed. We suspect that all 7 leaders of the BFF, including Arlen Arge, managed to escape to Runberg from the mountains. So I wonder if we'd have achieved a different outcome with the Governor Bronze situation. Whether or not this mission could have succeeded. Although I'm struggling to think about how we could have got the intelligence without the concessions that we had to make to cause this to happen. Not sure. God damn it, Lilius! 7 of them? Every single one? Seven? And that was my first thought when I read when she was saying it. 7? All of them have escaped? You know, one was just one straggler left behind, got a bit stuck in a close. Something. 7? I mean, I have to be surprised at that. As I said, it was outside of my control, Mr. President. Near side. Mr. President, the whole Blooders community is incredibly restless. They are already dubbing the incident Rain's Izam. She is right. We suspect that the leaders escaped due to Bloodish civilians aiding them. This collaboration between them has definitely increased, and this unfortunate event will likely increase their support further. What makes it worse is that Governor Braun has ignored our plans and followed through with his separate operation, which resulted in more violence. Not abolishing the special zone is proven to be a bad move. The governor and the regional forces are becoming increasingly independent. No. Well, can't keep using that as an excuse. You kind of can, really, I suppose, because if he just did his own thing, what could? Look, you were in charge of the Operation Lilius. Every angle, including an anticipation of Governor Braun's interference, should have been planned for adequately. I don't want to hear excuses. Solutions is what I want to hear, remember? So what is your solution to this mess? Poor Lily, I feel bad for her now. In any case, I will do my best before the incident explodes out of proportion. We can't have the Bloodish exploit the situation again by fabricating another Izam. She took a look at her watch. Oh, it's time for me to go, is it? We'll keep it brief. I think that will be all for our internal affairs update. They gathered their documents. See you later, Mr. President. Thought their entourage left the room. Simon comes in shortly afterwards. Oh, -5 budget. Here we go, Simon. Simon we get along with, but even Simon's going to feel the wrath of Rain today. This meeting has happened just after we've had that situation with Peter. We are in a bad mood. We will dissipate and get back to normality in due course, but this meeting is too soon after the event. Mr. President, where's the Vice President today? Oh no. You just didn't, did you? You just didn't, did you, Simon? Oh, you didn't go there, Simon, did you? He's probably oblivious, don't know anything. Ah, dearie me. That's confidential, Mr. Hall. Indicates there's a problem. He's thinking very hard about what he did wrong. I don't know. Have you seen him? Kind of continue to play it. We're going to be given a statement, aren't we? We're going to be given a statement. We were given one by Lucian, I think. Seem to recall. So we will be announcing it formally. So, do you know what? Let's set the tongues wagging. Why not? Set them wagging. Confidential, Mr. Hall. Oh, understood. Simon's expression remained unchanged as he sat down to face me. Not gonna ask a question, Simon. Ever the professional, I like it. This could be a test. testing the professionalism of our cabinet members. Anybody that asks, oh, what's happened, what's happened? It's instantly fired. Simon? Not batting an eye. Correct answer, Simon. I just wanted to provide you with a few updates on the economy. Go ahead. And hopefully it's good news, because I need good news today, Simon. I need good news. So give it to me. You may have noticed that the government budget is in need of a boost. My ministry is therefore working on a bill that will increase the tax on tobacco products from 10 to 30%. Ooh, I'm getting President Green vibes. Instant light bulb. Bing! Oh, tax on tobacco, 10 to 30? Where do I sign? That's tax those smokers. This is the 50s, by the way. Modern day policies enacted in 1955, or wherever the hell we are. A similar bill is being drafted to introduce a 20% tax on alcohol. Oh yes, fuel duty. Ah, perfect solution. All those people drinking alcohol, like Peter, can pay extra for it. Bring it on, Simon. Tax these luxuries. In addition to bringing in needed revenue, the new laws would curb excessive drinking and smoking in Swordland. You don't have to sell it to me, Simon. You don't have to sell it. I'm on board. Nasty vices anyway. Nasty vices. We've seen what drinking does firsthand. Smoking. It's a bit early for the... I don't know. Did they start figuring out what, smoking was bad for you in the 50s? I don't know, actually. When did they start to suddenly decide that actually smoking is not great for you? I can't see it being the 50s, surely. I mean, they were advertising cigarettes on Formula 1 cars until the 90s. Cool in the 50s, exactly. It's cool. We're ahead of the curve, of course. Ordinarily, I'd advise against this kind of thing, but with our budget dipping into the red, any measures that would reverse our deficit is worth considering. Thankfully, tourism to Swordland is on the rise, so we can expect to see a healthy stream of income there. Our investment in cultural preservation paid off, it seems. Why wouldn't tourism be skyrocketing? Swordland is the place to be. Oh, that's good news, Simon. Thanks. Thanks for telling me. Some good news. It's good that we've got good news. Let this be the last meeting. End on a positive note. I never quite understood why anyone would want to vacate in Swordland when Lesbia is right there, but I suppose our country has a certain charm. So look at the door, and Gus Manger strolled in and grabbed a seat. Ah, Mr. President, Simon. Some excitement around the palace lately, I've heard. Excitement, Mr. Manger? This should be a lesson to everyone. Double cross me and you'll pay the price. Don't worry about it, Gus. Focus on your job. That's all I've got to say about that. Oh, I'm sure you're handling it very well. Anyway, you both know how revitalising the Grooney region has always been my pet project of sorts. Well, thanks to the efforts of my ministry and the funding allocated by the President, Grooney is looking stable these days. Stable? That's it? Gus shrugged. It's far from the massive surge in economic growth that I had hoped to see, but I still believe the area is a wealth of untapped potential. If we seize every possible opportunity to invest in Grooney now, we could still see positive results within our term. I mean, Grooney is where the tourism is, right? That's where they wanted the airport, in Benfey. We've got Boring, the wine region, bays, coastland, all very nice. Is it bad to invest in that? It's not education though, is it? That's where my budget needs to go, not in some pet project for one of my ministers just because he happens to like Grooney. But actually I can see it making sense. We're saying that tourism is on the rise. Tourism's looking good. Let's invest a bit more then. But then you might be saying, well, we've pumped money into it and it's not giving great returns, so should we send more good money after the bad? It's a tough one, isn't it? See you later, Cham. But what other regions would we focus on? We've done up there. That's got the Rumberg connection down here. Could be dangerous. That's the special zone. These two are a bit more invested in because they're near our capital. So there's not many other regions that we would want to invest specifically, really. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Oh, that would be great, Mr. President. I only hope it's not too late. I'll be on the lookout for further opportunities to invest in the region. The door to the White Room opened slowly, and David made his way in. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I'm early again, aren't I? Not to worry, Mr. Wishy. We've just about wrapped things up. Simon and Gus rose and then left the room. David regarded me for a moment. His blue eyes seemed to see right through me. My ministry was notified about the Rumbergian infiltrator. This is a very delicate situation, Anton. There's another sex spy. You don't have to tell me that. I'm well aware of that, David. Please understand, the tensions between Swordland and Rumberg have not eased. Quite the contrary. As you might imagine, our decision to grant asylum to their whistleblower, Mr. Hailstone, did not sit well with the kingdom. An incident such as this might serve as a tipping point. Place too much blame on Rumberg and we may lose our chance at reconciliation. Yeah, you're right as usual. We have to avoid a war at all costs. Our army is not equipped. A compromise in the name of the greater good may spare countless lives. I'll leave you to it, Anton. I know you've got a lot on your plate. Pleasure, as always, David. Oh, dear. Does that mean we're going to have to let her go? Alarming levels. The threat posed by the Bluish Freedom Front. Papers. Papers. Let's see the papers. Right. First of all, BFF operation in Suzerain. However, it is disheartening to learn that a few individuals managed to escape. A few individuals? Yeah, the 7 head honchos. Not just a couple of stragglers, not just a couple of little minions. No, 7 of the leaders. We didn't take, or capture, or kill a single one. But thank you for the write-up, Wholesale Post, and not making the situation sound much worse than it was. Props to you. The Shaven Times, talking about football. That's what we like to see, distract them with football. Kicked off with a bang has the Swedish National League. FC Enrica, early contenders. 3-0 against Hull Sword. BFF terror and government in coordination claim innocent lives. In disturbing turn of events, the town of Suzerain has become a symbol of the devastating consequences when security operations go awry. Oh, grave missteps, lack of coordination, allowed the leaders to escape and use bomb attacks, leading to a is this the radical? The right paper here, leading to a catastrophic loss of innocent lives. The meticulously planned operation faced significant logistical challenges, leading to alarming delays, and thus the leaders were tipped off, leaving the town in ruins. As the dust settles, there's a need for investigation. Isn't there just? That's a bit more to the truth of it. And now the radicals version. Here we go. Get your popcorn out, folks. Startling revelations from a confidential report expose the true extent of the governor's incompetence. Government's incompetence and betrayal in the operation against the Bluish Freedom Front. The Ministry of the Interior's report confirms our worst fears. The security forces in charge of a raid against BFF leaders had turned into a massacre of civilian people, reminiscent of the 1930s Swordland. According to the report, the grotesque mishandling of the allegedly meticulously planned raid allowed the BFF leaders to slip away. As a result, the innocent town of Suzerain was transformed into a war zone reminiscent of the infamous Izam incident that claimed the lives of hundreds of Bluish people in the dark days of the 1930s. The scenes of horror and devastation in Suzerain were unimaginable. The report highlights the callous disregard for civilian lives as explosions tore through the town, leaving a trail of death and destruction. Preliminary investigations suggest a staggering death toll, with innocent men, women and children caught in the crossfire of this government-induced catastrophe. The Suzerain incident serves as a haunting reminder of the government's failure to protect its citizens and learn from history. We demand justice for the victims and a thorough investigation into the government's role in this abomination. It is high time for accountability and a genuine commitment to the safety and well-being of the Bluish people. The time for empty promises and half-hearted apologies is over. Now, back to the football. Yeah, back to the football, please. Yeah, exactly. Well done, Radical. Thanks very much for that. At least nothing about Peter. That's good. Good diversion tactic, this. BFF issues? No, let's report on that. Report on that and nothing else but that. That'll do for now. United Quintana discovers Acasian base in Polaris. Ooh. Within bomber range. Ooh. They're now threatening to establish a naval base on the continent in response. Ooh. Tensions, 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 eh? Not just tensions here, tensions there, tensions everywhere. Rumberg expresses concern over Bluish humanitarian crisis. At the Swordland-Rumberg border, no less, following a recent operation against the BFF. The monarch, while condemning the situation, has pledged support for the Bluish community and has called for an international response to alleviate the crisis. I bet you have, love. You grease those wheels for war. You grease them real good. Justify that when you invade us, you're invading us to save the Bluish people. Look at us. We are the saviours here, not the conquerors. Ha ha ha. Do you think they fell for it? Of course they did. Hook, line and flipping sinker. Read the report. High economic synergy between Grooney and Berger. Ooh, a high degree of economic synergy is being observed between the regions of Grooney and Berger. A series of strategic investments, coupled with increased economic interaction, have facilitated this alignment. The synergy is not only bolstering the economies of both regions, but also promising long-term growth potential and stability. Maybe Gus is right after all, you see? There we are, I was about to turn him down until I got my senses about me. Maybe he is right. Press release time. Right, tie, is it straight? Straight, yeah. Straight, sir. Hello? Oh, someone's been in here because my door is more open than it was. I bet my mum's popped her head round at some point, which is now freaking me out. Go get the bandana. Should I go get the bandana? What I'll do is I'll go get the drink. I'll go get the drink. I'll go get a drink. We love a good speech. I'll go get a drink, wet my whistle for the speech, and I'll be back ready to lay it all out. 2 minutes. And my bandana. Do you want me to put the bandana on for this, really? Oh, God. Right, I've got dressed for the occasion. I've got my burgundy tie, my burgundy headpiece on. Delivering a speech here today, people. We must look the part. Right. Press release time. Here we go. This is in the courthouse as well, by the way. was the morning of Livia's trial, and hordes of reporters were gathered in front of the state courthouse. Peter, Lucian, and I stood by the entrance. Lucian had helped break the news of my secretary's arrest. Now the media was beginning to question exactly how a Rumberg agent had been able to infiltrate the Maroon Palace. It was time for me to deliver an explanation. A podium with a bank of microphones awaited us on the courthouse steps. Peter looked uncertain. I had told him I would be doing all the talking today. Yes, Peter, I will be doing talking. Remember what we talked about, Mr. President? How could I forget? I was about to blame my best friend for a scandal that would otherwise shatter my administration. Peter hasn't said a word to me since I broke the news to him in my office. Together we stepped behind the podium. The reporters clustered around us and started shouting questions. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Honesty is the best policy, I feel. Pose as my... Honesty is the best policy. As you are aware, Ilana Vance, the Rumberg spy who posed as my secretary, is currently on trial for espionage. I think people are going to want justice, aren't they? You know? Assurance that it'll never happen again, yeah, as well, I suppose. But ultimately, people want justice, don't they? That's what people are like. We're people. We just want justice. And I don't want to say anything about Rumberg because we're trying to de-escalate the problem with Rumberg. So let's not mention Rumberg in our press speech, I think. David would have a heart attack. Rest assured, it's quandary. The traitor shall be brought to justice. However, the fact remains that she should never have been allowed to infiltrate our administration in the first place. She did so by exploiting. Is that putting the blame on her? Is it? But are we supposed to be ditching him under a bus? This is ditching him under a bus. I don't know, but this is actually what she did, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to feel like that's the wrong answer. This is blaming her, and I think we need to blame him. We did say, didn't we? However, Peter's carelessness to not check her properly was the start of this mess. So, technically speaking, the exploiting happened afterwards. That she did that can be directly traced to the carelessness of one man, Peter Vectum. God, it's harsh. The journalist gasped and murmured. Peter turned to face me, his mouth hanging open. We did say that we were going to blame him, didn't we? Or does he not know this bit? Does he not know this bit? Hang on a second. Let me go back to the conversation that we had with him. Did at any point we tell him we were going to blame him for this? I think we did, didn't we? We told him to resign. Oh. I got the wrong end of the stick here. Imagine finding out for the first time that you've been blamed by your best mate that's the president live on national television. Oops-a-daisy. Mr. Vecton's, to say nothing of his betrayal of Shoreditch values, has disgraced my administration. It's a disgrace. Disgraceful. Oh! That's too much. That's a bit much. That is too far. If Lucian was hoping for this option, I'm not doing it. He hasn't done anything illegal. Arrest is a bit more. Exactly. Goodness me. I mean, he slept with a woman. It's not punishable. He's not intended to be an espionage facilitator. So therefore, he has tendered his resignation with immediate effect. A clamour of reporters was growing louder. Peter seemed to shrink behind the podium, his charisma failing him at last. That's it then. No going back from this. The reporters were coming hard to ignore. One woman in the front row looked particularly insistent. Mr. Vecton! I will be answering all questions here this evening, morning, or wherever the hell we are. President Rain, were you implying that Mr. Vecton and the covert agent posing as your secretary were engaged in intimate relations? Yes. Give him as little as possible. Were you aware of this when it was happening? No. At what point do we say, Lucian? End this? Clearly not, because if we were aware of it, it wouldn't be happening, would it, love? No, we didn't. We were not aware of it. Lucian interjected. Neither the President nor the Vice President will be taking any more questions. Thank you. We could have brought up the hedge maze. The reporters reluctantly dispersed. Lucian, Peter and I looked at each other for what seemed like an eternity. Finally, Peter lowered his eyes. I guess I'll go to the palace and start packing my things then. I don't think he's going to want us to come, but I feel like it... Whoa, but we don't want to be seen, really. Again, we've got to think and put aside these friendships. We've got reporters could be lurking, camera people could be lurking. We've just fired him or just told him that he's tendering his resignation. And here we are, slinking off with him into the night. Looks a bit suspicious, I think. So we're going to have to just say a simple goodbye, Peter. He'll understand. Oh, he won't, because he's not got a shred of anything to do with political professionalism, has he? He won't understand that I can't be seen going off with you, Peter. Not after this, at the moment. Let the dust settle before I come and visit you, perhaps. I watched Peter descend the courthouse stairs to his car. Alone. Shame about your friend, Mr. President, but it appears you will make it out of this unscathed. Of course, there's now the matter of replacing both your secretary and your vice president. I mean, they've all said, or at least Livia, Ilana, or whatever she calls herself nowadays, did say that, he was doing it to be vice president. I think Peter had that same kind of vibe. But if we want a vice president, could we pick anybody better than our very own Mr. Lucian chess-playing Gillard? Or should we leave it open and fair competition? I have a few candidates in mind. Maybe we should make him stew a little bit. We don't want to just say, you know what, mate? Straight up, here you go. Vice presidentship on a platter. I've got a few candidates in mind. Make him work for it a bit. I want interviews. application. Send me your CV, Lucian, if you want to be considered. It's a very, very important position. Simon Hall! 2 economists together. No, I want Lucian. There's no point of messing about, is there? He's clearly the best man for... I mean, the only other thing is, if he's my... I don't need... it's cutting down on expenses. Because if he's my vice president, I don't need a chief strategist. He can be 2 in 1. Cost savings. Efficiency savings. Or even we could move Sergei from driver to chief advisor and get a new driver. My son, when he comes back from army. He'd be army trained. He'd be great on the roads. I'm seeing a plan forming. Right. No, do you know what? You're a little too old to be my secretary, Lucian. So we've got to rule that out, haven't we? Get my gist. Ha! Very funny, sir. We walked back up the stairs to the courthouse to watch the rest of the trial. Okay. Uh-oh. News time. Radical much? Oh, God. Oh, God. It's like, oh, I can't wait to see it. Rumberg infiltrated Maroon Palace. President Secretary arrested. Breaking news from the Maroon Palace. Presidential Secretary Livia Suno has just been revealed to be a spy from Rumberg. More details are forthcoming, but it appears the agent, whose real name is not yet known, managed to get past the palace staff's stringent background checks and obtain confidential information from within the Reid administration. The president has taken swift, decisive action to remove her from her position and bring her to justice. That's a good write-up, thank you. President innocent in spy scandal. At a press conference in front of the Hallsword State Courthouse, President Anton Rain vindicated himself in the recent Maroon Palace intelligence leak. He revealed that Vice President Peter Vecton was responsible for both hiring Rumberg spy Ilana Vance, aka Presidential Secretary Livia Suno, and disclosing sensitive information to her. Thankfully, with the arrest of Vance and the removal of Vecton from office, the Swedish government is secure once more. Yeah, innocent in all of this. Good, like it. Football time? No, the Shaven Times. President Secretary arrested for treason. Trial beginning in the next several days. I'll be holding a press conference. I've already held the press conference. There's no more press conferences now. Rain pins spy scandal blame on Vecton. Faced with an intelligence leak that could irreparably damage his administration, Anton Rain passed the buck to hapless VP Peter Vecton, who was forced to resign during a press conference on the courthouse steps today. He accused Vecton of hiring Presidential Secretary and Rumberg spy Livia Suno without a proper background check, and even hinted that the two were carrying on an affair. His dismissal of Vecton may satisfy some, but we are duty-bound to get to the bottom of this scandal. More news to follow. Oh, I bet it will. Radical, I bet it will. Right. Selection of a new vice president before the briefing. The briefing can be the VP's first new gig. Okay, here we go. Important decision. I wonder who the candidates are going to be. Iosif, come on down. It was here. The day I'd been dreading since Peter's resignation. Really? Dreading this bit? This is the easy bit. The hard bit was firing the man. On national television, essentially. This, just close your eyes and stick a pin in a dartboard or something. At the entrance to my office, my new secretary, Sylvia, took my hat and coat. Is Sylvia a suspicious name? She was a matronly woman in her 40s. She had a spotless background assisting various Maroon Palace officials. Replacing Livia had been easy, but replacing my VP, now that would be difficult. Swedish law dictated that if a vice president failed to complete his term, new candidates were to be put forward by the members of the cabinet. Yeah, we forgot about the lawful bit. Can't just pick who we want. There's a process involved. It's my VP. I'm only the president after all. I should be able to pick my own, but never mind. We'll bypass this bit. After much deliberation, the list had been narrowed down to 3. Lucien Gallard, good, was the front runner, followed by Gloria Tory, not with a 10-foot barge pole, and Albin Clavin, who, as a vice president goes, is under Gloria's thumb. So you're also not in the running as either, because you're just a puppet. So, I mean, it's a very easy decision, unless, of course, we don't even get to decide that much. Oh, it is. I wanted to chat with them one-on-one before making my decision. Did I? Why waste my breath? I suppose we've got to adhere to due process. If we don't speak to the others, could lead to further frictions in the party, favouritism and all that kind of stuff. We should go through the motions. We'll listen to the claptrap that comes out the mouths. So as I was coming to terms with having to do all of this and put myself through this misery, I had a knock at the door. Lucien enters and perched himself on a chair across from me. Should you be seen cavorting with the person that's picking the VP, Mr. Candidate? Sir, oh, he's coming in because he's been invited. Thank God. I thought he was going to say something like, "Don't pick me, sir. I don't think I want the job," or something ridiculous like that. Heavens help us. Panic station's over. Right, Lucien, appearances and all that. You know why you're here. Give me a spiel. I do. In my current capacity as Chief Strategist, I have evaluated the experience and capabilities of your potential Vice Presidents. Objectively, I am by far the most qualified candidate. I would advise you not only to think about our long history together, but also the many crises I have helped shepherd you through. I won't say much beyond that. I believe my work speaks for itself. If only interviews were that easy in real life. You've got to go through a whole list of behaviours, strengths, presentations. Now, just my word speaks for itself. It does, Lucien, yeah, you're right. You're right. And actions do indeed speak louder than words, so I like your interview methodology as well. I mean, that's what I did say. How are we going to replace the strategist? But he does it 2 in 1. 2 in 1. How am I going to replace such a valuable strategist? Lucien, he'll have an answer for this. I'm just testing him now. This is an interview. Put the man on the spot a bit. What do you think about that? His answer should be, "It's not my problem, sir." It's not my problem. You can't not promote me because I leave a gap behind. It's not very good, that, is it? I need to be quite correct. As Vice President, my ability to serve you and this administration will only increase. Ah, so you can do both jobs. That's what I thought, you see. I was just testing you, just confirming you could, and you can, so happy days. Interview over. I think I'm happy. Lucien got up from his chair. I expect you will make the right decision. He left my office. Just a minute later, there was another knock. And none other than Gloria Tory, the woman who had my balls in a vice and made me concede some things that I didn't want to concede to push through the Constitution. Not that I hold it against you, Gloria, at all. Not at all. Mr. President, I must say I was not surprised at all when my name was put forward. Okay, let's cut to the chase then, Gloria. Why should I pick you? To put it simply, what I bring to the table is years of experience. I have been a member of the Assembly for almost 20 years, and I spent 7 years as its Speaker. This alone speaks for itself. And as you know, I am also the spokesperson of the party, as well as the leader of the Conservative wing. Yeah, I've got far too much influence for my liking. You can see what I'm getting at. No, Gloria, call me a stupid interviewer here, but please, interviews, you're supposed to treat the interviewers as if they are stupid. Don't assume they know anything. Tell them everything. So, what are you getting at? Well, I will be blunt. Being the leader of the Conservative wing means that if I am the Vice President, we would have more votes. This would allow us to pass bills far more easily, especially if those bills are aligned to my bloc's causes. I'm not bothered. I'm a one-term president. I won't be bent, swayed, coerced, cajoled. I'm content to end after 4 years. As long as in these 4 years I've done everything in my power for the good of this country. And having you as its Vice President is not good for my health, for a start. And thus not good for the country. There is no us, Gloria. Oh, I'm quite tempted, you know. I'm almost... Oh, she could still have us impeached. Well, she'd have to find something to... You can't just willy-nilly impeach us with no evidence of anything that we've been... that we've done wrong. I don't know how close we are to the end of our term, but if we were like near the end and we were definitely certain we're not, you know, not going to be another term here, I'm going to be a family man, retire, I get an island, I get a private residence as the ex-president. I don't think that's been taken from the Constitution, has it, that we get our private little villa? I'm retiring. I've done my best for the country. Hopefully somebody takes it over that's got my values. Because then we'd say that, but no. I will think about it. I want you to know that I value order over everything else, Mr. President. Being the Speaker of the Assembly requires principles, nerves like steel, and determination to uphold proper conduct. Sounds like us, to a degree. You can expect to see the same of my Vice Presidency. I'm going to say for a very brief moment, would it be the most horrendous thing if we actually did have a Vice President? What's that saying? Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. What do we reckon? It's worth a brief consideration. Oh, I'm not so sure. You being a woman could also prove advantageous. Don't think Scotland's ready for a female Vice President. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I've got another person to speak with, Gloria. I've got to do my due deliberations. I can't just make a snap decision. You'll have to leave it with me. But I've taken on board everything you said, and I'll get back to you. Think about the message it would send. The first woman Vice President of Swordland? No, the first woman Vice President in the whole continent. Wouldn't that be glorious for you? And by virtue, glorious for me, the forward-thinking president, trailblazer, hires woman as Vice President. If that was the reason only to do it, eh? No, Gloria. What support you would lose among traditionalists, you would gain tenfold among swordish women. There is much to gain from selecting me, Mr. President. I believe you will make the right choice. That will be all for now. Thank you. Thank you. I wish you a nice day, Mr. President. Glory made her way out. A minute later, another knock at the door. Thank God there's only 3 candidates. This time it was Albin Clavin's turn. Greetings, Mr. President. It's really a great honour to have been chosen as a candidate. Terrific. Okay. Let's be straightforward. Why? I feel like Lord Alan Sugar here. Why should I pick you? As you know, I represent the reformist wing of the party. Reformist wing, good, yeah, I like that side, but again, I still think you're easily under the thumb. What Swordland needs today is not only to catch up to our more modern neighbours, but to surpass them. I believe we can do that. No, I am sure. However, this will only be possible if we set aside our differences and unite as one. That is the outlook I wish to bring to the position of Vice President, so that Swordland can excel and soar to new heights. I didn't ask about your opinions. What can you provide me with? Okay, it is very idealistic, and it is, unity has been my strapline. He's just telling me what I want to hear, and I'm a sucker. Thank you. The fact is that if I am the President, Vice President, reformist members of our party will be more likely to support you and your causes. This will smooth the passage of bills and help move our administration and our country forward in record time. I did say, I didn't quite say it directly, or did I, Nagisa, as usually the judge of this. When I say something, I've got to say it. And I did say it when he came in, that he's a puppet for my story, and we've got that option, pretty much. Yeah. Do you mean, do you know what, why not say it? Like when you were a bit mute, a bit quiet, we didn't say a word, when Miss Tory run roughshod over my constitutional proposal. You mean like that? That much gumption and gusto, Albin? It was in my head, so I'm going to say it now. This is an interview. This is rigours. I'm putting you through the mill here. It's nothing personal. It's an interview. Dealing with pressure when under scrutiny. How is he going to cope? Is the sweat dripping down his brow? Is he stuttering a bit? Oh. Not a good vice president then, are you? I'm a very nice interviewer, by the way. I'm not nasty when I interview people. Come on, Mr. President. You knew my position there. There was nothing I could do to help you. Besides, it all worked out great in the end, didn't it? We have successfully changed the Constitution together. And now what this country needs is more dynamic, youthful leadership. Look at you, President Rain. You became the youngest member of the Assembly and completely rejuvenated Swordish politics. I want to do the same. We need to be able to take risks to make gains, and that is only possible with a forward-looking perspective. There. I've stated my case. I trust your judgment. That will be all for now, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I lean back in my chair, thinking about the pros and cons of each of my vice presidential candidates. I could almost hear Peter's voice in my head, laughing at the absurdity of my situation. But of course, he wasn't there. Is this decision time? Oh, this is the briefing on women's rights. Oh, I want to make the decision. Maybe the decision will be next turn. Because I'm ending the stream at about 10ish, no later than 15:15. As an interviewer, do you ask the 3 words that define your question? No. Civil service interviews, you don't get such weird and wonderful private sector type of questions. Why should we hire you? What are you going to bring to the company? None of that. It's all very rigid and structured, and you don't get to see the best out of some people in the style of interview for the civil service, unfortunately, is my view on it. But anyway. Briefing time, women's rights. I was sitting in my office. I looked at the clock. "2:26 p.m. Almost time for my appointment with Chiara on women's rights. Knock at the door. She enters with her folders in hand. The door did not close behind her. Monica entered the room and stood next to Chiara. Oh, my wife has burst in. What have I told you, my dear? Not mixing business with pleasure? I'm just joking. Mr. President? Anton, before we start, I just wanted to thank you for agreeing to this meeting. I've been dreaming about this ever since I volunteered with the Swordfish League of Women. I can't believe the moment's finally here. Okay, well, isn't Chiara my education minister? She's always in our good books. Between the 2 of you, you could finally bring change to Swordland. I feel it in my waters. Oh, I hope you're right. Chiara sat down on a chair and laid down the folder she was holding. We still have a long way to go before Swordish women are able to enjoy the same rights and privileges as men. Now, if I had my way, it'd be equal education, but we didn't have that option because we didn't have the right power after the constitutional reform. My hands were tied. I was gonna go for it if I could. Or even as their counterparts in Arcadia and United Contana. We've been lagging behind on this for decades, Anton. And this isn't only a moral issue. I've seen enough revolutions in this world to understand the main driver of any change. Money. She flipped her folder open and started pulling out documents. In United Contana, law dictates that women earn the same wages as men in their respective fields. My research shows that this led to a 15.5% increase in productivity. You could say this has had a direct influence on their superpower status. Arcadia passed laws ensuring maternity leave rights, child daycare centres and tax deductions for working families. In turn, they experienced a 12.6% productivity boost and a flourishing economy. Both countries have also significantly lower infant mortality rates, a statistic I believe is directly linked to the improved status of women. Our administration has thus far failed to put Swordland out of its economic recession. She leaned back in her chair and drew a breath. Interesting facts and figures. You've come prepared, Chiara. I would expect nothing less from you. So I am asking, why not try passing similar laws? At worst, even if they fail to improve the economy, it'd still be a significant step forward for our society. It's only logical. Monica handed me one of the documents. It had a list of bullet points on it. The 2 of us have talked it over, and these are the measures we believe are most urgently needed. I let my eyes wander down the list. Criminalising domestic violence, support for working mothers, equal treatment in the workforce, and gender equality in public education. Okay, I think we can probably ask all of these, so we'll start with the big one, criminalising domestic violence. Violence is violence. I shouldn't have to tell you how crucial this is. It is utterly unbelievable that in this day and age, Swordish men are legally allowed to beat their wives. Travesty. Absolute travesty. This is in need of urgent rectification. Chiara, can't disagree there. I'm happy we're on the same page. Would never lay a hand on you, my dear. In fact, I'd be more frightened that you were going to lay your hands on me. Some of the looks you give me. Face like bloody thunder. As incidences are especially high within the Bluedish communities, I would also advocate for setting up a special domestic violence task force in collaboration with Bluedish women's rights organisations. Monica looked at her strangely. Are you sure that's something we ought to focus on? The Blues are different. They have their own rules. Monica, I'm surprised at you. We can't let women suffer under the patriarchy, no matter their ethnicity. No. Decriminalised for everyone. I assure you, it is a good idea, but I'll give you some time to think about it. Okay? More about this support for working mothers. Yes. It simply isn't fair that women in the workforce are punished for having children. Remember what I told you about Janice, my friend who basically got fired for becoming pregnant? That would never happen to a man. Paid maternity leave and state-subsidised daycare centres could be key to keeping more mothers employed. It's true, having children never hindered my career prospects. Shouldn't hinder a woman either. I don't think we're going to be able to do all of these. Maybe it's going to be a choice of one, perhaps? Exactly. Moving on. Equal treatment in the workforce? That's an easy one. Right now, Scotland has one of the continent's largest pay gaps between men and women. We need legislation ensuring that women doing the same job as a man is paid the same wage. We would also introduce quotas to get more women into positions of power, in the Assembly, for instance, or on the board of corporations. Eventually, narrowing the pay gap is a far more pressing issue, as it would bring financial independence to countless lower-income women. Chiara, we never talked about this, but I always thought that with more women in power, higher status for all women would naturally flow. Women are starving because they don't make a living wage. That's a damn sight more important than your friend Janice being passed over for a promotion. Okay. Pay gap, I would suggest, is more important. Monica gritted her teeth. Thank you, Mr. President. Gender equality in public education, Mrs. Education Minister. She grins. She loves it, doesn't she? You know how much this means to me, and you've witnessed the dangers firsthand. The way girls are shut out of a real education unless their parents have the means to get them out of the public school system. So many bright minds have been lost. I wouldn't entirely demean the old system, Chiara. Dina still loves her handicraft classes. I'm not saying we'll take those away. Maybe boys should learn handicrafts too. Monica burst out laughing. Imagine Frank in an apron. We've had a conversation, Chiara, on this one, and I'm completely with you on this one. Good, then we see eye to eye on the matter. That covers all subjects. What are your thoughts so far? As long as it's all free, it all sounds brilliant. As long as it's free, I'm on board. Do it all. If only it were that simple, eh? You've made a good case for all of these changes. All of them. Oh, it's getting close to the election, apparently. I don't care about elections. All of them. If people don't like it, they can lump it. This is modern Swordland in motion. Thank you. If we can pull this off before the elections, the Rain administration will make history. What, like we've not made history already, Chiara? Constitutional reform? Hello? Let's talk about how to proceed. Great case, but unfortunately it costs money, so we're doing absolutely none of them. I mean, we have got tobacco and alcohol income to look forward to, but when is that coming? Can we go to -7? Goodness me. We were in the paper. This was in a briefing. We can't go any worse. I want to establish a commission for women's rights in Swordland with me as its head. Our goal shall be passing and implementing a set of laws to solve the problems we just discussed. As the Commission's spokeswoman, my responsibility will be to make speeches and organise fundraisers. I will be the face of this movement while Kiara handles the groundwork. Oh, it's all been planned out, hasn't it? If I can show that the First Lady is behind this movement, many women will feel encouraged. Kiara gestured down at her outfit. Especially those who aren't keen on pantsuits. The organisation's name will be Commission on the Status of Women. You've been to the Elquist School of Naming Convention, I see. You do know it's going to be damn hard getting these laws past the Assembly. But hey, it was damn hard getting the Constitution changed. That didn't stop us, did it? So we're up for the challenge. I know, but even a watered-down version would be better than nothing. One more thing to consider before making your decision. This could help silence any of the public's lingering questions regarding your former Vice President and the Livia Suno affair. It's a good strategy, is that, actually? And I can't remember what the technical term for it is, but it's based on the elasticity, the brain's elasticity, not the physical elasticity of the brain, but basically if you give somebody something to ponder and a decision to make that is of the extreme. So let's say we've put forward all of these as changes and everybody's like, oh my god, this is horrible, you can't do that, whoa. And then you offer an alternative option, which is, obviously, as she said, more watered down, but better than where we started. Then somebody is more likely to be like, well, actually, yeah, we can accept that. Whereas if you'd gone in with that first time, that would have received the same reaction as the extreme version. And it's a well-known and well-employed strategy in negotiations. I read it in a Darren Brown book. No, it wasn't Darren Brown, it was Paul McKenna, sorry. A Paul McKenna book. I can't remember the term he used for it, but it's basically, yeah. Is it like a rubber band, or what was the context he used? Like if you were stretching something, you stretch it too much, it never returns to its original position, or something like that, anyway. So. Anyway, what are you telling me, Kiara? Sorry, I've just gone off on a slight tangent there. Anton, I'm not completely naive. I know what we're proposing would have its downsides. Oh, she means by a diversionary tactic. I thought she was going to tell us something else. She's basically saying that this movement will be a welcome distraction. She's actually another good strategy, and well-employed strategy. Diversionary tactics when there's a scandal. Oh look, there's this big piece of news just happened. Distract you all. But every time I look at our daughter, I think about how I'd do anything to grant her a better future. I know you would too, just like you told me all those years ago. I hope you'll make the right decision. We both do. Your own wife is putting pressure on you. Kara was looking studiously at a scratch on my desk. She blinked and turned back to us. Yeah, even she's feeling awkward. Yes. Family and work should not be mixing. That's right, Mr. President. They rose from their seats expectantly. I mean, look at me. I'm sat there with my wife and my education minister, who we get on very well with, and she's doing a grand job enacting my vision of a better education for the country. Stood there, eyes glowing with hope and excitement, standing over me as they've just risen from her, and waiting for me just to say yes. Yeah, you know, as if I'm going to turn around under that amount of pressure and say, do you know what, I thought about it. Nah. You two stood there glowering at me. Nah, don't think so, actually. All of that, I was just entertaining you. But, ever the president, and sometimes I do have my moments of liking a joke. I purposely took a few minutes, even though it was an obvious decision, took a few minutes to think, with choice sound effects added as well. Feet are tapping, she's tapping her feet, Monica's folding her arms, looking at me. He does this, you know. And I'm asking him what he wants for dinner. Bloody same situation. He does. He's pulling our arms here, pulling our legs. I know you too well, Anton. Just bloody give us a decision, will you? Okay, I will approve it. Of course, I'll bloody approve it. Monica turned to her. That's all the excitement you can muster? You did it. We did it. Chiara must have been dumbstruck. Monica hugged Chiara. She smiled uncomfortably. It's not over yet, Monica. The true battle is in the assembly. We'll celebrate once that's over with. Yes, clearly, Monica, you don't know about the lion's den that is the assembly. If only it was as simple as that. Or simple as this, in there. I'll start gathering names for the commission tonight. She collects her documents. She and Monica headed towards the door. Monica paused before leaving. I love you, Anton. I'll see you at home. Oh. With all that Peter situation and all the drama of picking a new vice president looming, what a lovely little sentiment. I could hear Monica and Chiara talking excitedly to each other as the door closed behind them. I looked out my window over the city of Hallsword. It was a clear day outside. I smiled and nodded. And just wondered what the hell was going to happen in the future when I'm not elected again. But hey, it's been one hell of a ride. Oh, Vice President's election. It's 10 o'clock. I'm finishing within the next 15 minutes. So we'll end on our selection process. Oh, it's just one of these options. Well, that's not very dramatic, is it? I was hoping for another script. It's got to be Lucian. I mean, Albin, Reformist Wing is very much aligned with our way of thinking. We're very much reformist ourselves, so aligning with them would actually not be that bad. But Albin, for me, that whole situation with Gloria Tori and the fact that we could bring it up, that means that it's a no for him. If there was a stronger candidate and a more stern candidate that backed his thought process, that spoke up when needed to, and wasn't a sat there in stunned silence kind of person, I might consider him quite seriously. Gloria, friends close, enemies closer, a tactical thing. If I wanted to cling on to power and wanted to be re-elected and had that kind of a mindset and would happily do things tactically, that option would be very credible, very possible, could be a good move. However, we're not. We do things that we think is right, that's right, sits right with us, moralistically, is that a word? Morally, and with our values in mind. And for me, Lucian has earned it. He's been by my side through thick and thin, advised me accordingly on very important matters, and is a genuinely sound guy. So why not pick him? It makes sense to me. Pick Lucian. Congratulations on your promotion, sir. Swordish League of Women is also a decision. We've got one personal wealth. Private donate. Now, if we were to privately donate, I mean, I'd happily do it. It's a good cause. But as the president, is this not like a conflict of interest kind of situation? The president has personally put into it. Oh, and is backing it. Seems a bit fishy to me. But it does say private. So hopefully it would remain private. We'll just give it to our wife one morning, you know. What's that on the table, Anton? What's that envelope bulging? Nothing. My dear. Nothing at all. You know what to do with it. And just... it melds into the treasury of the Swordish League of Women. There's nobody any the wiser where it's come from. And that's exactly what happened one morning. News. Rain makes donation to Swordish League of Women. Yes, it so privately melded into the treasury that it became public news. Hey, what does it say about it? This game has been great, hasn't it? As Swordish women continue to march for equality, Anton Rain showed his solidarity by donating a large sum to the Swordish League of Women. This was not only a generous gesture, it marked the first time a president of Swordland acknowledged and personally supported the women's rights struggle. Reached for comment, a spokeswoman from the League expressed her gratitude to Rain while emphasising that new policies will help the women's cause much more than finances. Anton Rain donates to support women. Will policies follow? Is it a femme washing or the real deal? President Rain made an unusually large out-of-pocket donation towards the Swordish League of Women, but has yet to budge on women's rights policies. Some of Rain's defenders argue that this issue has always been on his agenda, but had to take a back seat as other more urgent priorities sprang up during the first half of his term. Many of those priorities, Radical, you've reported on yourself and said that I've been a bit lax about them. So I can't get around to everything, clearly. But anyway, this donation could be an indication that they're right, or an empty gesture meant to placate them without angering Rain's conservative base. Not that bad a write-up that time, actually. Maybe us giving that donation wasn't as bad as I thought. We're showing full support for the situation. And when we stand up in front of our peers and colleagues and friends, have we got any friends left in the old assembly? We can say it with passion, because we've backed it with our own cash. Start of the day. I do like these text story things, so last one for the session. Let's see what the start of a new day, which should be a new session really, because it would be a good place to end, but hey, let's go. Lucian and I were on the way to my office. New VP here. I was holding a mug of coffee in one hand and a folder of various documents in the other. As we turned a corner, Lucian spoke. The Ashraf anniversary is coming up, the most important day for the Blue Dish populace. Watani Ashraf is one of their symbols, as you know. Is he? Blue Dish carpenter killed by Swordish soldiers. Yeah, not much is known about him. Blah blah. Killed by... yeah, I know a little bit. Lucian, who was a soldier killed. Carpenter man. Yeah. Your presence at this event would show your desire for a more unified Swordland. We will reap the benefits if you decide to go, I'm sure. Now, this is interesting because we did the whole sword, book, kneel, tap, stand thing. And we got it completely right. I don't remember what it was now, of course, but at the time, we nailed it. So we need to do the same here. If we get offered to do any kind of ritual, taking part in proceedings to show that, you know, that unity, we're going to have to give it a go. Yeah, you, of course, Lucian, are always right. Now I have a VP that I can trust. I'm already feeling the pressure lift from the shoulders. Second, just when a time of trouble comes. Lucian, what do you think? Oh, that's a good idea, Lucian. I was thinking the same, actually. Very similar lines. I was merely confirming. Thanks very much for that, Lucian. VP that I can trust. Makes life easy. Lucian nodded. Of course I'm right, bloody hell. We rounded another corner to reach the last corridor leading to my office. Lucian suddenly stopped in front of one of the doors. The plaque that once said Vice President Peter Vecton had been removed. The door was halfway open and I could see a few workers moving boxes around the room. One of them saw us, bowed his head and changed the name tag on the door to Vice President Lucian Gallard. Sorry about that. So Lucian Gallard is getting his name tag put on the door. Happy, exciting times. Another handyman dropped a heavy-looking box on the desk. A crunching sound was heard from within. Be careful with that. Mr. President, this move requires my personal attention. We shall discuss the Ashraf matter later. Yeah, as I was saying out loud, having a vice president you can rely on is very good. Very good indeed. And I am glad to have you as my president, sir. I entered my office and asked Sylvia for a second cup of coffee to wake me up. Another long day was waiting for me. However, this time we've got backup. VP Lucian. Right, next up on our promotion list, Sergei. We need to get Sergei into a position of power before the end of our term. That is our only goal that's left. Education reforms, Sergei promotion, melt to our private island. I think that's a good plan for our future, don't you? Right, in the next session then, we continue onwards with our new VP by our side. What is going to be waiting for us next? Let's take a look, shall we? It's all the way in V-Sword. Mediation of a dispute in the gendarmerie. Oh, what a surprise. Lilius failing in her duties again. Seems we're going to have further words with Miss Graff, isn't it? Anyway, we'll save that tongue lashing for next time. Tomorrow I'm busy. I'm going to play some tabletop, do some tabletop gaming. Not played that for a little while, so looking forward to that. So there'll be no session. I might be able to get some Fallout videos up there before I go, because I won't be going till about 5, and I'll be home from work about 4. So I can get half an hour's worth of Fallout up in an hour, given the new upload speeds and all that kind of jazz. So I can get that done for you guys. So the next stream then will be Sunday. Just because I'm busy for the rest of the week. Thursday, I might be able to do a pre-football stream. Depends what I'm doing. Like I say, it's the day before my birthday, so because we're having guests over, got to clean up and tidy up and prepare the bar, do some last-minute shopping and all that kind of stuff, because I don't want to be doing that on my birthday on the Friday. So I might be a bit busy Thursday evening. So, but I'll keep you posted. If not, recorded sessions of Fallout. I'll also probably do a couple of recorded sessions of BG3 as well, just to keep that ticking over a little bit in the meantime. So yes, thanks for watching this evening, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, wherever you may be, and hopefully see you again for another stream soon enough. Thanks for your assistance, for helping, and until next time, have a good week, folks. I'll see you soon.